Alright, what's up everybody? This is Logan Pettingill. I am an AI student, of course, and I am gonna be making a new video. So my last video I talked about what I did at the gym, and haven't been there in a little bit, and I've been kind of slacking on writing this, so I'm gonna talk to you guys about some of the some of the stuff I've been doing and been up to lately. So a couple weeks ago, the Wednesday I suffered an injury in training, and that's something I want to talk about in today. So something about jujitsu is you're bound to get injuries, and it's a combat sport, so it's just one of those things that'll happen as you train more, as you compete. Even haven't gotten injured from competition yet, but eventually I probably will. But it's something that is very likely to happen. So the way I got injured was I was shooting takedowns. I was working on wrestling. Went to a wrestling class, and we were working on double legs, which is a type of takedown, and a single leg, which is another type of takedown. So I kind of went down and pulled a muscle in my back, just kind of by the shoulder blade, and it hurt for a little while, and I've been taking it easy the last couple days. I haven't been in a while, so that's why I haven't been making videos as much. So I was pretty upset that I wasn't able to do live roll. I ended up doing it in the drilling. So we were drilling, and I was working on the double leg, and I went to shoot. I went under, lifted, and my back I couldn't lift, without it hurting. So I took the rest of the rest of the class off, and I just chilled and waited till I got picked up and went home. So I just been kind of resting, and the way you have to deal with your injuries, man, is you gotta rest. You can't do anything super high intensity. No matter how much I want to exercise and work out lately, I just haven't been able to because I don't want to re-injure myself or make it even worse than it already is. So, it's one of those things that'll happen when you train in any sport. The crazy thing about injuries is you can injure yourself. I don't know, stepping weird. Uh, so, especially in a combat sport like jujitsu, depending on the jujitsu you do, I was working on my wrestling, so that was just kind of something that happened, which is shooting a takedown. And I've suffered a couple injuries. I'll talk about some of the injuries I've suffered. None of them super big deals. I mean, you can, of course, if you're in jiu-jitsu, you can get, if you're training like kickboxing or something, you can get a concussion. Or if you're even training wrestling, you can get a concussion doing anything. So you could get kicked in the head while you're grappling, and it's accidental. An accidental headbutt can cut you. An accidental head kick while you're standing, or you could take a knee to the face when you're shooting a takedown, or slam your head against the mat, which has happened to me before. So the worst injury I've ever gotten, one of the worst injuries was I had stepped weird doing some wrestling with one of my training partners. We were live rolling, and I stepped weird, and it bent my ankle kind of weird, and so I had rolled my ankle, and it wasn't that big of a deal. It went away after like a couple days, and I could come back and train. And then I started taking precautions to not do that. So I started wearing ankle braces to keep my ankles in shape. And so I also have gotten injured just by like little cuts. I've been cut a little bit before. Just one time I was grappling with my coach in jiu-jitsu, and my gi raked across my lip, and it gave me a pretty good gash on my lip. It was bleeding pretty good. I've gotten a bloody nose shooting a takedown, just coming down on their hip. I mean, I've almost been put unconscious a couple times. One of the times that it happened was I was caught in a choke with the gi. So you can grab the gi like this, and you can choke people like that. And so I thought I could get out of it, and I ended up getting really close to going out. So So I tapped, and then I sat and basically stared at the mat and was out, completely out of it. So I didn't really know where I was for a second. So those are just genuine injuries you might get in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I mean, of course there's more dangerous injuries, but as far as everything else, it's not very dangerous. It's less dangerous than like boxing. If you're gonna go train boxing, it's a little less dangerous because you're not taking punches to the head. You're not taking punches to the ribs, to the liver. To the worst thing that'll happen is you might dislocate your arm. The worst injury you can probably get is if you don't tap to a leg lock, you can probably rip apart your knee pretty good. It's one of those things. It's a combat sport. It's no different than wrestling. You're pretty much, a lot of times you're going to have a little bit of a nagging injury. A lot of guys that compete, and I've felt this myself, I competitively compete in jiu-jitsu. I've hurt myself before a match and kind of been a little jacked up, and then not going into it, not being fully 100%. Like sometimes my second tournament I went into, I kind of had a little bit of a nagging injury. It didn't really bother me too much once the adrenaline hits you. It's not that big of a deal. So a lot of people go into competition injured. You'll see that a lot in football, in traditional sports. You'll see a lot of people come in with injuries. So there's nothing really you can do about getting injured. You're gonna get injured no matter what, doing anything. So you shouldn't stray away from doing something like this if you're worried about injuries, because you're gonna get them no matter what. You could throw out your back sneezing, or you could fall and cut your face open or break your arm. So there's nothing really that you're gonna do that's any more dangerous than doing a combat sport or jiu-jitsu. Alright, that's it. I'll talk to you guys next video.